Live exemplarily, love authentically, and lead relationally. Live, love, lead. This is the Inspired Family Leader Program with Samuel A. Bakutana, your host, a certified executive coach, an award-winning leadership consultant, global speaker and author, CEO of Inspired Leaders International and Provincial Fathers Union President. What a joy to have you this morning, afternoon, evening, depending on where you are watching us from around the world. Today, we want to focus on a critical, very important, but unique and unusual component of family leadership. And that is none other than the priesthood mandate of a father. Many times we have talked about the father as a trainer, the father as an instructor, the father as an educator, the father as a promoter of the family, the father as many things, provider, But today we want to talk about the father as a priest. That is part of the leadership mandate of a man in his own home. And to talk about that together with me in studio this wonderful day is none other than a gentleman I've known for the last 7 years approximately. A man who is solid, who is rooted, who is firm and stable in a number of things, including what he is going to be talking about today. You may want to pay attention, and if you have a man in your life who is not yet watching right now, let them know that the program has started. If it is your son, get him from the bedroom, from wherever he is. Let him sit with you so that together we can raise a generation of men who have an expanded level of family leadership capacity so that we can have national transformation. The man with me in studio is my brother, John Sewanyana Graham. You are very welcome, my brother Graham.
Thank you, my brother.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
This kind of smartness is monumental and phenomenal.
I can't be better than you.
For the last 7 years, I've not seen you change in the way you are smart.
It's the glory of God. It depends how you define yourself as a leader. Yeah, we need to define ourselves. Because the way you dress also defines what you're going to address.
What did you just say?
The way you dress.
The way you dress
will define the audience you're going to address.
The audience you're going to address.
Oh, yes.
Or the audience you're going to address defines how you're going to dress.
Sometimes it happens the other way around.
Or you should dress the way you would like to be addressed.
Or you should dress the way you want to be addressed. That's correct. That's correct. Depending on what level of understanding you want to put it. Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me today.
It's my pleasure to have you here today.
Yeah.
As I told you a few days ago, I've been looking for you.
Yes.
I've been looking for you because we had spent some time without meeting.
Correct.
Ever since the last time we met, and
Correct.
I know you as a solid man
Correct.
who has a lot to share with
Correct.
men and women and families and professionals out there.
Correct.
Yes. So, would you like to please introduce yourself?
Yeah, thank
and
you
your
so
family?
much, my brother Sam. My name is called John Graham Sewanyana. As my brother has already introduced, I'm so much into many things. I'm a director of a Center for Studies of Christocracy, Center for Studies of Christocracy. It's a college associated with the University of Christocracy and College of Governance based in the U.S. New York. But also I'm a team leader of Faith Dome Tabernacle International Ministry in Uganda. So I'm so glad, and also do train leaders and work in the marketplace in different forums. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good to have you here.
Thank you so much, sir.
Something about your family?
Yeah, thank you so much. So I'm married to Diana Nambilu, and been married for the last 13 years also. So for me, family is something that I would dig until when I die, because I know family is the foundation or fabric of building of a nation.
Yes.
So once we don't understand the formulation of family and why family exists,
yes,
then we have lost why we are created. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we have 4 kids, and so we are blessed, and so I'm very grateful that I've been in this by God's grace, that God gave me the right partner, because it's also important to know that you get the right partner.
Yes.
In this whole thing of marriage.
If you marry wrong,
everything's gonna be wrong.
The situation of success, the equation of success is halfway gone.
You talk about successive leadership, as I've always had in your talks. It will never happen to a man who is disgruntled from home. So leadership is formulated from home.
Okay.
Yeah.
Family is the first and foundational institute for leadership development.
It's a foundation of governance all over the world.
And that takes me to that simple question I often ask every guest on this program at the very start.
Yeah.
This is a leadership program.
Correct.
it focuses on leading the family.
Yeah.
So in your own view, simple words, not a dictionary definition, not a etymology of the word, not the concordance meaning, but to you, in simple words, what would you call leadership?
Yeah, for me, what I would call leadership, without really involving a lot of terminology, as you said, I would think that...
Because I know you are even having a PhD, you're pursuing a PhD in those things.
Oh, yes, we are pursuing a PhD in those areas, but I don't want to define it.
Yeah, please. Just keep it simple for our audience.
Yeah, leadership, it would be like taking your position and making to know, you're taking roles of what you're meant to be. Like you take your position, you take risks because, because you'll find that many of us, as people may say, other books, you read books, people say leaders are born, others say leaders are made, But I would imagine that a leader is someone who takes responsibility of chaos, Okay. Because this world is full of chaos. This world is full of chaos. Recently, we attended a meeting with you where on last Friday, and the question was about leadership because we are supposed to have entered the meeting at exactly 8 o'clock and we are delayed because of the COVID test,
Yes.
So I just told Stephen Langa, our friend in Family Life Network, I said, why are we here? Because even the guest speaker was standing outside.
Yes.
Was standing outside waiting to go in. And I said, oh, what a marriage. It was too hot. And so everything in every world, the question is about the one who steps out to solve a problem. He has a leadership component.
Okay. The one who steps out to solve a problem is a leader.
Yeah.
Interesting.
He's a leader.
Interesting way to look at it.
Yeah.
And that makes me curious, and I want to take it now to the family level.
Yeah.
So since you're saying that the one who steps out to solve a problem is the leader, the one who takes his position, who takes responsibility of chaos and so on and so forth, how would you therefore transfer that to a family setting? What is family leadership? Yeah,
in fact, now, that's a very fundamental question. Because in a family, consider a family as an organ, or as an organization. And when God was creating, and without bringing in a lot of Bible here, but in the very first place, God created an organization of family, even Adam.
Yes.
And He said He put man in the Garden of Eden and gave him leadership over everything that was happening. And you know very well that Eve was created after Adam was already created. So Adam being a man doesn't mean that actually Eve was less man or less human.
Of course.
She's also actually has the same capacity as Adam would have because they all created an image of God. But God gave this superior power over Adam to be a leader of other things. And from the beginning you would see the expanse of the knowledge that God had given man.
Yes.
He gave him leadership over the universe, over the stuff, over the creation, and over everything. So bring it to the family setting. What is family leadership? Is where a father or a mother takes, responsibility of leading their family in the way they are supposed to lead it according to their vision and mission. Because every family should strategize how they're going to run their family.
Okay.
Every family, as I say, is an organization. You should have a vision, you should have a mission for your family. And this mission is not just 7 years or 10 years, it's for lifetime.
Okay.
It's one of the organizations where people don't get expired or people don't get fired. That's a family organization, if I'm looking at it as an aspect of. So we don't come into a family when you expect to be fired tomorrow.
Yes.
You don't marry.
But I've had some men who chase away their sons and say,
that's a misfortune.
From today I am, you are now cast out of my family.
Oh my God, that's a
Don't
big
call
mistake.
me your father again.
Oh my God, it happens somewhere. It happens every day in this nation where people wake up in the morning. Actually, before I came, my wife was telling me, don't take it for granted when you're married.
Okay.
She was going to tell me a lot of other things. I said, I'm rushing away. Don't take granted because of your, sometimes when people get married, they think everybody's getting married. Or people can stay in marriage for 1 or 2, 3 years. Actually, it's not as it is as people may think. So
That's true.
Sometimes difficult. So family leadership is basically, is trying to lead the family the way, because, one of the things God gave us principle. In the Bible, we find the book of Timothy, and Timothy was speaking to the church and was saying that you have to be a leader. You should be a man of one family. I mean, you should be a man of one wife.
1 Timothy chapter 3.
Oh yes. So it begins to give a basis of leadership in the family or in any kind of thing. If you're to be a bishop or you're to be a pastor, you're to be a, in any form of leadership either, you don't have to be even in church.
Yes.
But I've seen confusion in leaders in the marketplace, and I've seen confusion in their homes.
Yeah.
So family leadership, basically, a man or a woman in this case, a man in this case is very important in taking a role of leadership in the family, but doesn't mean that the woman will just watch on. It's like a deputy, deputizing is the husband in the way how they will lead the family according to how they spiritualated their family to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that you're even talking about, confusion, bringing order in the midst of confusion, that takes me to the topic of this day, the priesthood mandate of a father.
Yes.
So let's first get on the same page with our beloved viewers. If we say the priesthood mandate of a father, what is a mandate and what is priesthood?
Oh yeah, those are very key things, my brother. And when I talk about priesthood, I'll tell you somewhere that in this old world, we are lacking fathers, we are lacking men, we are lacking the priesthood mandate,
So what is a mandate and what is priesthood?
A mandate is a call. It's like a call. A mandate is like it's like a command. Like God has a responsibility. It's a job. Like God has given man a job.
Yes.
To do certain. If I give you a mandate, I've given you responsibility. I've given you job to do something, to accomplish something. So a mandate is something that God gives you. God has given us the power to do or responsibility to do. That's a mandate. But what's a priest? A priest is just simply, I would expect us to understand, not even bring a theological understanding, but a priest is just basically a God leader. I would call it like kingdom leadership in the family.
Kingdom leadership in a family?
Oh, yes.
Kingdom leadership. Yeah. Well, you see, I'm going to keep asking about these words. So when you say kingdom leadership, I will be thinking of our traditional king.
Kingdoms,
king of Uganda. So now when I hear kingdom leadership, I'm wondering, so which kingdom now are we talking about?
Yeah, well, people have been confusing it because many people have asked me questions. Is there a study I can start about priesthood? Because I've heard you talk about priesthood. I want to be a good husband.
Yes.
But I've heard you talk about priesthood. Is there a study I can start about priesthood? I said, no, you may not have a really go to college study about priesthood, but it's a call for every man. And priesthood is just bringing the God's order into family. It's just simple as that.
Bringing God's order
into the family. Yeah, because God, there's an infrastructure that God expects a family to run. And that infrastructure is given to every family in the world. So, and God has not given it to the wise or the intelligent, the white, the blue, but He has given to everybody. To that's infrastructure of leading the home.
Okay.
And so the first principle that actually defines somebody to be a priest is that actually they believe in God, they believe in the service, they believe in the Creator, that actually He created them, and therefore they believe in Him. It doesn't have to be that He has a label of a Christian, but they believe in God.
I know that right now somebody watching us is saying, aren't we mixing issues here? When we say the mandate of priesthood, we have priests in our churches. You have priest so-and-so, reverend so-and-so, pastor so-and-so, reverend father, if it is in a Roman Catholic church. We already have those priests, at church. And then we have us, ordinary men, fathers in our homes. But now it seems like we are mixing issues. Why do you call all fathers priests, yet we already have professional priests in churches?
Yeah, thank you very much. And that's where we all lost it, actually. That's where we lost it and left our families to be pastored by priests or to be pastored by pastors. I once gave a definition that if you cannot pastor your family or you cannot pastor your wife, if you fail to pastor your wife, then who's going to pastor her? If you fail to lead your family, if you fail to lead your wife as a husband, then you are leaving that wife to somebody whom you don't know. And that's why we have had so many of wives going to false prophets and false priests. There are two kinds of priesthoods. We have the false priesthood and you have the godly priesthood. Okay? The godly priesthood, that is the guidance given by servants of God whom we know and already they have this evidence that these are servants of God. Now the false priesthood, those are the false prophets. because they also operate on altars. Now, there can never be a priest without an altar.
Okay.
Every priest operates on an altar.
Yes.
Okay.
A priest services an altar.
An altar.
So then when we say family leadership and we
Yes.
say the father
Yes.
is a priest in the home,
In
are
the
we
home.
also saying he services an altar in the home?
In the home.
So are you saying that there has to be family altars?
There must be family altar in the home. It may not be called like an altar in the church, the way you build it to be holy and whatever, or
Yes.
building a table around you to make it a holy table.
And you know, in the African traditional
Oh,
religion
yes.
and society,
Yes.
when you now talk of an altar in
An
the
altar,
home,
yes.
people are now thinking of
Yes.
that corner
Oh, yes.
table where
Oh,
they
no.
put I don't know what and,
Yes.
and bow to it. So you better
Oh, yes.
clarify.
Yes.
How does a family altar look like that
Okay.
this father is called to service?
Oh yes, I yesterday I visited the house near where somewhere a certain house, and I was asking someone what is this room. It was one of our brothers, and he told me that room is a sacred room for prayer. Now this is other religions. So if other religions can create a sacred room for prayer in their houses, then how about people who actually believe in God? There must be a sacred place. It may be in your sitting room, it might be anywhere, but what I'm saying is that as a father, if the mother, because you must understand somewhere that not all of us are called to lead altars in the home.
Yes.
Yeah, it may be that maybe your wife is the one who is gifted, more
Okay.
gifted
Okay.
in leading.
So in that case, am I still the family leader?
You still remain a family
Because the
leader.
family altar is being serviced by someone else.
Now that's the other question, and we must keep fighting it. And I will
Alright.
not talk about women emancipation coming
Right.
into the altar business.
Yes.
But you know, even Joshua had a deputy.
Yes.
Because that time,
yeah.
even Moses had a deputy, and you know
Okay.
the role of Joshua was just to watch and see how Moses does it. Now the role of a wife is to just watch and see, because when I'm teaching about altars and leadership, you want to get men in the Bible who were mentored. A man like Joshua, who was mentored almost
Yes.
daily on servicing and making provisions on how to serve in the tabernacle. Now, in the sense of a family, if a wife is supposed to lead as the husband leads, you know, he's supposed to watch. And the husband is not an expert. No, we are not experts in leadership in the home. And as people say, you don't to mix up, fix it, you know.
Yes.
We are just leading, following God, and then also, as our wives follow us, then we follow God. We get leadership from God, and then we pass it on to the generation. I mean, to the people below us, like wife and children. Yeah, so I don't know whether I've defined your word of priesthood.
Yes, I get it.
Yes.
Okay, so what particularly, let's get now to the details and where the rubber hits the road.
Yes, yes.
In this role of a priest,
Yes, yes.
what particularly does the father do? So let's say he does this,
Yeah.
he does this,
Yeah.
he does this,
Yeah.
and he does this,
Yeah.
and this is what it means when he's playing the role of a priest in his family.
Yeah.
So let's get to those particulars now.
And now when we read 1 Samuel chapter 1, and chapter 1, actually chapter 3, chapter 2, the Bible talks about the family when Samuel was born. And so there was a family that used to practice, you know what I'm talking about. And so, and one time when Samuel was born, of course, he was born in the temple, of course, as the mother, you know, and it was, you know, say, I'll give this child back to God, and he will be a leader and all that. And actually, that's what happened in the temple. By the time when Samuel was born, there was a trend, there was a culture in Israel, whereby when you were a man, you always attended temple, you always went in the temple to take your family to the temple. And sometimes in children of Israel, in Israel, you take it once in the year, or if he has a wives, he takes all his wives, he takes all his children to worship God. Once a year, they used to do that in Israel. And it was the man taking that leadership. Yeah. So, but in the sense of a family now, in our putting it in our generation today, it will not be that you're going to Israel.
Take your children to Israel once a year.
Once a year, you know. So if you're going to wait to that, then doom is going to come upon your family. So, and so translating that into our setting today,
yes,
because you eat food every day, and that's what I always tell people: eat food every day. You ask, you know, that's why you have to pray every day. Simple as that, you know. The Bible, Jesus taught us the simple prayer: Our Father who is in heaven. You know, that is daily prayer. And just
give us this day our daily food.
Today. You know, so if you're going to say that prayer is for tomorrow, prayer is every day in the house. In our houses are supposed to be houses of prayer.
So are you saying that one of the things that he particularly does as a father in the role of priesthood is leading prayer?
Leading prayer and putting sure that actually prayer is in order. And of course, you know very well, Samuel, that one of the other things I've seen, I can talk about money, I can talk about I can talk about promotion, I can talk about many things in Christendom and Christian environment, but talk about prayer is something that actually very difficult, even norm setting. It's hard work. It's really hard work. So that's where somebody has to take up an extraordinary responsibility. And somewhere also what you must notice, that you cannot lead people where you have not been. Yeah.
Can't I point them to the direction?
You can point them, but they'll get lost. Yeah. So
that's
in other
why many
words,
families are lost.
Yes.
We have many signpost leaders.
We have so many people who remain in their bedrooms and say, you can't pray. You can't pray. They don't participate in, because children children will follow what you do. If you know that your prayer altar is at 9 o'clock, you know, make sure everything is done well. You buy food on time. Make sure you arrange things right. Provide everything that's provided. Make sure that the Bibles, every child has got a Bible at home, and you have Bible guides. And so those simple things, there's a way they encourage children to be grafted in the way of knowing that actually our family prays at this particular time. And those children, as the Bible says, train your child so that when they grow, they know what to follow. They won't depart from that. So as children, and the Bible even continues to say, write the words, scribe the words on the walls of your bedroom. Yeah. One of the things is to make sure that children know the Bible. That's one of the role of a father. Yeah. Nobody is going to teach your child the Bible. I used to think that way, that if I take my child in a Christian school, they will teach him about Christianity, they will teach him what I need, because I'm very busy. We are living somewhere in the busy world, even including
and
leaders.
delegation is a good leadership.
You know why children of pastors are the most worst kids in the world?
What are you insinuating?
Oh, yes.
Is that a
place which is supposed to be an altar of prayer, a place which is supposed to be a place where children are raised. We have bastard children come from families of bishops and pastors.
You're speaking more passionately than
I am very serious on this. You know, because if you're a bishop, your children must be well behaved. You know, you cannot teach us on the pulpit, you're a bishop, you're a pastor, you're an apostle, you're a prophet, and your children are doing something different. That means at your home, your altar is dead. There's no any structure of church in your home.
Can't you do everything possible in the life of your children? They still turn out badly, wrongly?
Oh, you can't do that. I've seen people, men of God, have done it.
Yes.
But as I tell you, my brother, it's going to be by the grace of God.
Yes.
Do your part. Yeah, it's very bad if you don't do your part.
Okay.
I want to ask myself, what takes place in the bishop's house? What takes place in this Christian's house? Every day. What do they text? Do they have prayer altars every day? Or their breaker network is broken? Because much of what we see today in the families in Uganda, why we have leaders that are broken, why you have marriages that are broken, because there's no communication. Altar bring us together, we think alike. Samuel, on the altar, there's no greater than the other.
Yes.
No. All of us, when we are same on the altar of God, we are the same and we have the same capacity.
I thought the priest, for example, is
the priest is just a leader. He's just a leader. Yeah. When we come at the altar, we share. You know, all of us remove our suits and kneel down before the Lord, and God speaks to all of us. All of us and are vulnerable before the Lord. Yeah, so there's no one who is expert in these all things of leading. So when you see children that are being raised to the fabric of the generation we have today is because of breaking down of families.
Yes.
Yeah, why we see leaders that are thieves, why we see leaders that are corrupt,
yes.
why we see men and women stealing money, is because this is right in the home.
So as the family is, so shall the nation be.
So as the family is, so shall the nation be. Because if you want to change the nation, change the family. One time when God was speaking to me about raising altars in families, I said, God, this is a big job. I cannot raise altars in all the nations of Uganda. And so I began one of the altars, a very famous altar in Mukono, where I started from. And so when I finished up that altar, dealt with some of the things, demonic altars there. The Lord told me, now I'm sending it to family. I said, the family is so big. You know, like, how can I go to every family? Because God showed me, you know, it's going to be a network. Yeah, it's going to be a network like a football field. It's a network. You know, altars are going to network. So if you're coming from a home and it's fiery, and you go to your office or you go to church, that's why sometimes you come to church and the praise and worship is struggling to tell the people, lift up your hands. And then you people, as if you didn't take breakfast, they are coming from a dead altar. Our work should be easy in the church if people are coming from a lovely altar. I will show you clearly in church that people don't have altars anymore in their family. They are dead. And once the family altar is dead, the church is dead. The spirit is dead. You need to do a lot of gymnastics. I would call it gymnastics because that's what's happening.
To get them
on fire, to raise their hands, because
it dance, praise and worship. And
these bodies are so dangerous.
Yes,
we have to kill them every day. The Bible says, "I submit my body every day," because every time it wants to take me to other things, so I have to kill it and submit it to the altar.
So therefore, the role of the father, as far as priesthood in the family is concerned, is to ensure that there is prayer in the home, is to ensure there is a particular time for family altar, is to ensure every member of the family has a Bible, is to ensure that the children are taught the word.
Those are some, actually, one of the things that you see the children of Israel do even when you go to Israel today. When you go to Israel today, you know, especially on the Sabbath, which is Sabbath, every family, every person, they go on holiday what you call Sabbath, you know, as a family, because that they work as a family. And there's no any network of a family, there's no any network in the world better than Israel. You know, and why Israel has hit so much in technology and science and call it defense and security, because they raise their children and teach them about the Bible. Let me tell you frankly, Samuel, everything exploits you have seen in the world are generated from the Bible.
Are you sure?
Science, biology, geography, any kind of intellectual thing that you would think has been developed out of the Bible. And so what we have to do now in Uganda is not to really, you know, sometimes we don't even cast demons, we just take people back to the Bible. And teach them about the Bible. And that's what Israel does. Those people in America, they are in different places. The Jews are in different places. They're here in Uganda. They have made our roads here. They follow the structure that is in the Bible.
They follow principles.
They follow principles in the Bible. They follow that. Now, the priesthood can be mandated at a particular level, and not every father actually has the mandate to receive the priesthood order.
Now, I want to believe you are contradicting yourself at this point.
Yes.
If you say not every father, you know, is in a position to receive the mandate of priesthood, yet we have already said all fathers are priests. So what are we talking about now?
Now, what I'm saying is that the preparation of the priesthood order requires this father to be prepared. It requires a preparation.
Being equipped for the work.
Being equipped. Remember very well some of that in the early church, in the Old Testament, whenever there was a problem in the children of Israel, a priest came and gave sacrifice, and once in a while, you know, and the priest had responsibility to give a sacrifice before the Lord. But if the priest was not in order, the priest now, we're talking about the personality of the priest is very important. The one who receives the mandate as a priest is very important. You will not tell us some of your priest when you're you're going with other women, you're rumamongari, you're a thief, and you think because you're a man, you carried the priesthood mandate.
I thought it was positional before we talk about the disposition.
That's very true. That could be true. But what I'm saying is that there must be an alignment that this man goes through. There must be a training this person goes through. There must be a kind of sanctification or cleansing. We need our fathers, we need the fathers to be cleansed in order to receive the priesthood mandate which is supposed to be for them.
And now, as you talk about that, and you share all this, and you get into the details and the way you are bringing it out, I want to believe there is somebody here who is saying, but if I am not a Christian man, I don't even follow the Bible, is this relevant for me and my family? Is this topic relevant for me and my family? Since all that they are talking about is this thing of the Bible, is this thing of God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, is Jesus. And for me, I am not a Christian man. I don't follow the Bible. So is this program today, is this conversation relevant to that man who still thought that priesthood is where If he's a man, he's a father, he's the leader of the home, he's going to be a priest, regardless of the religion. But now here, you're saying, Bible, Bible, Bible. What do you tell that man? He's watching you, I'm telling you.
Thank you very much, Samuel. Now you have caught me. Now this is where the whole thing is. Okay. Thank you very much, our viewers and men that are watching all over Uganda.
And abroad.
And abroad. Yes. Thank you so much. I want to just announce this to you. As long as you're a man, you know, and you got married, you have a wife, you have children, automatically you have a leadership you have to play in your family.
Yes.
Regardless of what title I may give you. Don't be confused by the title of priesthood. Don't be confused by the things I'm using that because you're Christian, not a Christian, or you're practicing the Bible, not practicing the Bible. But let me tell you that there are so many people practicing the Bible without knowing. Yes. There are so many, majority of people claim they are saved, they have ashamed us.
Okay.
Majority of men who claim they are bishops, they are pastors, they have ashamed us. They have 3 women, they have produced outside marriage, and there are men who are listening to me now, they are stable in their homes, they make money in the right way, they are not corrupt. I would think those are priests. They are doing the right work. Because they have not, the law has not caught, they have not been caught by law. They live within the circumference of the law. I mean, they feed their children well. They take their children to school. I mean, the whole thing of priesthood should not confuse you. Yeah, it's just a word that defines godliness in somebody, you know. But the capacity you carry as a man will define the manifestation of you as a man. Will tell us what kind of content you have in your life, you know. Because some people actually never. I don't even like these days to people to say I'm a this and that, I'm bishop and what. I will know it from your family.
Okay.
Your children will tell me, your wife will tell me. If I want to know about a man, don't come and shout to me on television how good you are, how you, and you know, Samuel, I've seen men putting up, I've seen women showing up. Yes. You know, and yes, I like it, but don't showcase. Don't show us what.
Don't show off.
Yeah, don't show off.
Margaret Thatcher made a statement and said, being a leader is like being a lady. If you have to tell us you are one, most probably you are not.
Yes. Yeah, actually, most people propose or they want some a good man and a good husband. They talk a lot of things. In most cases, they missed it. Yeah, so they have missed it. So a man who's there who is not even a pastor, who doesn't even expect to be anything, but as long as you are working within the circumference of your marriage and you are providing, because you remember that even before you look at the spiritual mandate of a man has a physical mandate.
Yes.
His physical mandate is a provider. A man is a foundation. And let me give more understanding on why I say man is a foundation. Now, what I say that a man is a foundation, this whole business, Samuel, if you ask the women today, if you ask all over the world, if there's any woman who would want to go and work, I want to bet that none of them will tell they want to go and work.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I don't know, but I feel you're wrong.
Okay. Of course, in our generation today, where women want to say, I want to make my own money. I want to
work. Graham.
Women?
Yes.
All right. So, but
thousands and thousands and thousands.
But you see, there's and you have seen where that has taken us. Okay.
Where? I haven't.
And I believe, Samuel, if God really was in heaven there, you know, and provided man with everything this woman needed.
Yes.
Okay. There's once a time I read a book, and it was entitled "Things That Man Doesn't Know About Women."
Okay.
Yeah, and I was very glad. It was $10.
You still have a copy?
I have a copy, but you'll be surprised.
I want to be sure I'm in good books.
You know, so I have a copy somewhere. But you see, I was excited to read this book. You know, things that men do not know about women. Yeah, so I bought it. It was sealed very well, $10 and more. And I was excited. It was a doctor, somebody, you know, from the US, somebody. And but only to open the book, it was free. It was empty. You know, there was nothing written. I said, these people have stolen my money.
Yes.
How can this whole book be empty?
Yes.
You know, so there are a lot of things that actually, Samuel, that have changed over the time. And one of them is this whole fact of family. And why I say that man is a foundation, I have never seen any person taking a picture with the foundation, like taking a photo.
It's hidden.
Because the foundation is hidden.
It's hidden.
That's why I'm talking about if a man comes and tries to show up how good he is or how best
Trying
he is.
to be the walls and the roof.
walls around. Men who are going to change the world do not show up.
And you better equip them.
Yeah.
Because now, let's get to equipping them.
Oh,
I
yes.
see we just have about 12 minutes to the end of the
yes,
program.
yes, yes.
So what will this man therefore practically need so as to play this priesthood role effectively?
Yeah.
What does a man need? Whether it's knowledge or skills or what?
Yeah.
What does a man practically need
Yeah.
if he is going to play the priesthood role effectively?
Yeah. What the man needs to do right now is, you know, I have realized that even in military, there is always offensive and defensive warfare, and so and also in life, there's also stock taking. There's stock taking. Like now, it's end of the year. I'm sure most of the business are doing stock taking.
Yes.
So also in marriage, you always do stock taking, and this is what I always tell married people. You should always get time to stock take your marriage every end of the year.
So number one, stock take.
Get your wife, go somewhere in Navinyonya, go to Entebbe Beach, go to any park,
Go to African village.
go to African
Chiunga.
village, Chiunga, and stock take your life. What have you been doing since January? What things have you made? What obstacles have you made in your marriage? How about your children? How about your job? How about your brothers? How about yours, whatever? Stock take.
So in other words, stock take in simple language is like evaluate what has been
Evaluate your
going
life.
on
Yeah,
in
leave
your
alone
marriage
this
and your
terminology of
family.
priesthood. Leave alone those things of priesthood and the terminologies. Just evaluate your simple life. Are you matching your vision? Are your visions being achieved? Because as a human being, you have your personal vision,
Yes.
but also you have corporate vision as a family.
Okay, so number one, you need to evaluate your life and marriage.
Retreat.
Retreat.
Yeah. And after retreating, okay, after done doing that, go through the things you're supposed to do. Then also you need to seek for help from people you think are better than you. Yeah. I have come to understand that we don't run this whole thing alone. There are people who have been there before us.
Yes.
I believe there are people who have fallen and come up from all these marriage issues. And many people, they are marriage counselors, there are people that God has gifted differently.
Yes.
So look for a counselor. Look for somebody you know that has got the mandate, has got the authority over your life.
Yes.
Look for somebody that's got a spiritual authority or leadership authority. It may not be a pastor, it may not be anything, but somebody you think that can speak into your marriage.
Okay.
Yeah, because as you know very well that you drive a car, and many of us drive cars, when you put oil in the car, that oil for a certain time, it loses its importance and relevance.
It does. You
over
have
time.
to change.
So we need to breathe new oil in marriages. Now, if you don't stock take your marriage, you may run your marriage on something dry. And that's why people are batting themselves, they're beating themselves, because your wife and yourself must be refreshed every day.
Okay.
Every day of your life, you must be refreshed. And what refreshes you? What refreshes you? Good to know, have I done the right things with my spouse? Am I doing the right thing with my children? And you could even see it from your children, the response, what children respond to you, what the community responds to you, how the wife responds to you. Are you doing well? So we need oil.
So
we need
seek
to
help
refill.
from better people.
Seek help from better people. Also buy books. There are people who have written about things, experiences in life. Yeah. I once read a book that changed the road of my life. Yeah, and actually I went for a course for 2 years, and I thought I was doing an academic course, but I thought it was helping my marriage. Yeah, I was doing a course in psychology.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I had a lot of things somewhere. Ever since I was born, things that are human development, looking at the child, the adulthood, and youthhood, all stages, I had a lot of fixation. I had issues that are wounds in my life, and I could not function as a father. Let me tell you, Samuel, I grew up seeing my father abusing my mother, insulting her. And I remember one time, I had also caught the same spirit of my father. I began running. When my mother was calling me, I began running around. I couldn't believe what she was telling me. So, and I don't think my father taught me that. He never taught me, do this, do that. I was watching what he does, and the thing just,
it's not taught, it is caught.
Yeah, it's caught. You call it impartation. So there are things you are being imparted that are wrong, that actually are being manifested right now.
So some nice books can help
nice
in
books
uprooting
can
such.
we need refreshment, we need new oiling. You can gather 5 couples. Sometimes I tell people, gather couples get together. Talk about your marriages, talk about things. Don't fear. If you fear, talk about, especially as men, we're gonna die because we don't want to talk about our things. You know, men don't what? Men always die alone because men don't share. And in this particular aspect, as we are sharing about, it's very important for us men to get out of our cocoon and begin to share what is affecting us in our marriages. I want to tell you, Samuel, my brother, a lot of us are dying. We don't know whom to share our issues to.
That's true.
We look for somebody to share your problem. You can't.
Many times they tell you that when you do that, you are not a man.
You're not a man enough.
Men don't go telling
don't
others
talk about
their problems.
things.
They sit on the top of the knife and pretend all is well. Men don't cry, they have no emotions. You know, I don't know where we got that version of a man from.
Yeah, I think it is really
because for me, I will say it on national television. For me, I cry and I am
That's normal.
And I am not ashamed of
It's
it.
normal.
I have emotions. I have feelings. I just know how to express them, you know, appropriately.
It's normal.
I seek for help. I walk vulnerably. I share.
Oh, yes. You know, I have a brother whom I've been, is a man from Irish. I always tell my wife I'm driving to Lubowa just to go and sit with him.
Yes.
He's older than me. His children are older than me. I like the way he has been leading his life. He doesn't know, sometimes he thinks I'm going to help him, but I'm learning from him. Yeah. Right? So you look for people like those, you know. Sometimes
be vulnerable. Share with someone.
Don't, you know, have anybody who is going to grow in their leadership, either marriage, either government, or anything, must have mentorship.
All right. So as we talk about this mandate of priesthood in the life of a father, I know you had somehow alluded to it a little bit, but let me ask it again directly, and just in 1 minute say something about it. Where is my wife in all this? Doesn't she have any role on the family altar as we talk about priesthood? Can she even be maybe the leader of this altar, or that is giving away too much?
No, you remember, actually that question has been very highly asked, you know, when people say that, you know, if always always women use it normally, you are the head. Yeah, when you need money, when there are circumstances in the home that require money, wives are very fast. You are the head. You are the head.
When it comes to leading prayer, you are the head.
You are the head. Yeah, you are the head. You know,
and when it comes to some other things,
you say, she takes control.
I mean, I am the neck. I am the neck.
I'm supposed to handle that. So we need to really bring all that thing together, you know. But as you know, I know that my wife should work together with me. Yes. We are the same in this field of marriage. Yeah. So I'm not superior than her. She has things she does, but I give spiritual leadership. Yeah. Any man should give spiritual leadership to their family, because families follow you. Your wife will follow you what you tell them. Okay. Yeah.
So if I am the president of my home, my wife is the vice president.
Is the vice president.
We serve together, in the office of presidency for our family institution.
I've spoken so many things to my wife, and she says no. Yeah, and I feel offended. Why is she not respecting me? Yes. I have said this and she's saying this, but I die quietly there. She has said no, but when I try to understand what she has said, she's right. She's right. So I have come.
I hope you are not insinuating that women are always right.
No, they are not always right.
Just to clarify.
Oh, that one, of course, somewhere, you know, they are not always right.
Just like us, we are not always right.
And so one thing also I want to come out with also, women are always emotional. Yeah, so their leadership is emotional. Yeah, they sometimes
and
come
nothing
out,
wrong with it.
No, nothing wrong with it. That's how they're made. You will bring an opinion that is coming from an emotional perspective of thing, and so. But she's supposed to deputize me. Okay. You know, your wife is supposed to be deputizing you in all aspects of your life as a priest. She can act as a priest, by the way, because priest is just leading and making sure your children grow in the way they are supposed to grow. For example, like taking children to school. You don't have to be a Christian to take your children to school.
You just need to be a responsible
parent.
Food.
You don't have to be a Christian to buy food. Whether you're Muslim, whether you're Catholic, you must buy food for your home, building shelter. Make sure you prepare a shelter for your home. That's a mandate.
Medical care.
Medical care. You don't have to be blinded a priest or a Christian. No, that's your mandate.
You don't need to speak in tongues.
You don't need to speak in tongues. No. You don't have food, go and look for a job.
Yes.
And we have struggled a lot. I've struggled a lot to understand this thing, that to be a strong man, you must be a strong person at home.
Okay.
Yeah, to build a strong nation,
Yes.
we must bring strong men at home.
So how do you handle if you are a husband? Because I've seen this and I've seen it cause some challenges here and there.
Yeah.
I have a number of friends whom I believe if they had the opportunity here, they would ask the question I'm about to ask.
Yes.
How do I handle if I am a husband of a very strong-willed female pastor who still comes home as a priest on our family altar just because she is a pastor out there in a church? How do I handle that strong-willed female pastor who is a pastor out there at a certain church, but then when she comes home, she still comes home as the pastor and forgets I am the priest? So how do I am that husband. How do I handle my priesthood mandate in that circumstance?
That husband has got a lot of issues with such a pastor, with such a wife. Some, I will tell you, most of the couples have answered with that kind of,
yes,
they have divorced.
Oop.
Sorry for that, to say that on national television and whatever, but most of the pastor women that have cancelled in those areas, they have actually drifted. Why? Because this woman, priesthood and this all position, and this, when God calls you in like a pastor, bishop, that's why it feels, it puffs you. So women have been puffed as pastors,
by positional priesthood in the institutional church arrangement.
It's like when you're director of Kampala, KCCA, or you're director of investment, and your husband is somewhere in Chikubo, for example.
If you don't have strong character, you may easily be swayed away.
You may be swayed away. So what am I trying to say? It takes the grace of God for that woman to kneel down and say, "This is my husband." It will take the grace of God to leave that man be who he is, irrespective in the home, irrespective of whether you're a pastor or wherever you're pastor.
Yes.
And I'm not saying that that all marriages where women are pastor, it's like that.
Not at all.
Yeah, but the percentage of them is a struggle, and I want to appeal to the pastors there who are wise. This is a role, and even pastors who are men, because when you're a pastor in the church, when you come home, you're a father. You don't. You must play your roles. I have seen the men who come with their laptops in the bedroom. And I know you're not part of them. I hope you're not.
I used to be one.
So they carry their laptops.
The first 1 year of our marriage, it had a lot of
and the pastors carry.
I would come back home as a consultant, as a leadership consultant,
and the pastors,
instead of a husband and a father.
You see? So your consultants leave it in your office.
Yes.
Yeah, and your Bible thing, I have seen people building towers when they come home, they run to their Bible study. Up there, and their family is down. So he always wants to put himself up. So what are we trying to say? This lady is you're just a wife, This is just a title. And it's and goes across even if you're a man or you're a woman, it doesn't matter. Once I go home, I want to be a father.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to be a
so
father.
Once you come home as a man, be a father, be a husband. Once you come home as a woman, be a wife.
Be a wife. Just
we
be a wife.
don't need to say anything more about that. And clearly, you realize that the priesthood mandate, let me call it for lack of a better word, quote unquote, is a lost art in a sense. So as we come to the close of this program, what's the role of the church, in your view, in restoring this priestly mandate of men in their families? In just half a minute.
Yeah, thank you so much.
The role of the church.
The role of the church. Now, the mandate of the church is to go, because it's very important to know that actually family is very important, and one of the role of the church is to organize reawakening programs to awaken the priesthood mandate and begin teaching the church. The church should begin teaching and having more programs and calling the men back into the church. If there's anything Samuel I will do today, today in the church, is to call men back in the church. Call men back into their status, because men have lost it. Now it's not the priesthood that is lost. The priesthood of God is there and will be there to everyone who is open. But men are lost. Men are lost and they need to be revived again. So as the church needs to organize revival meetings, need to organize teachings that for a long time to bring people to an understanding of what this old priesthood means and what needs to be done, so that men can understand their priesthood role in the church and also understand the priesthood in the home.
All right.
And vis-a-vis the nation.
Great, thank you. So I would like you to look into that camera straight.
Yes.
And speak to that man as a form of your parting shots. That man who is so busy in his life that he doesn't give attention to these issues of the spiritual matters, even in his home, yet you are now pushing him to the corners of altars and priesthood. Speak to that busy professional man as your parting shot.
Yeah, thank you so much, Samuel. I want to take this opportunity and I want to say it in love, that God loves you as a man, as a husband in a home. And I want to say, however busy you may be, things will catch up with you one day. And I always tell people, and I tell myself, the moment you hear the words calling you back, I would want to call you back as a man. You know, it doesn't matter how busy you are. Take small stages, small steps of a baby, and just be humble enough. You know, it doesn't mean whether a director, you're a president, you are a leader of some sort. Just come down and be a man in your home and say, Lord, I want to teach me afresh. And I want to just appeal to you that once you do that baby step of coming back, just like any other part, I will call it repentance. I'll call it repentance. Repent and come back to him as a man. Maybe you've gone away for a long time, 7 years, 10 years, you've drifted away from your priesthood role. It's time for you to come back and say, you know, God, forgive me for what I've done. And you come back to a point of repentance and allow God to come into your life so that he may use you afresh. Otherwise, strangers are going to come into your home and begin leading your home without knowing. We're going to have people leading your home. You must lead your wife. You must be the one in charge of your home. Every time things get wrong is because somebody is leading who is not you. And so men, get back to your position and get back to the role God gave you. And I want to assure you, the moment you do that, you will see how your family will move to a greater level. And I want to tell every man that is listening right now, it's your mandate. It's your given. You don't even have to force it. Even if you just sit there and just watch things happen the right way, command things the right way. Don't force. Don't beat your wife. You know, you don't have to necessarily beat your wife, but just inform them what is right, supposed to be right. Provide. Be a good father. Be there. Be available to your children. You know, speak to your wife. Take time with her and share with her things that you need. You know, and take her out. Try to get to know her, because sometimes we are so busy and we don't even take our wives out, but we have time with other people. We're chatting or other people. Samuel, one of the things I want to destroy in marriages are these phones in the bedrooms. Yeah. You know, when you come home, I want to say, switch off your phone, talk to your wife. Stop WhatsApping in your bedroom. Stop WhatsApping in your sitting room. Stop WhatsApping talk to your wife, because you've not been with her the whole day. Talk to her. She needs you. She's going to get another person talking to her. If you don't talk to your wife, don't talk to your children, somebody is going to talk to them. And that's what I'm telling you. That's the right thing I've seen. If you don't take time to talk to your wife, she's going to get somebody to talk to her. If you don't talk to your children, somebody is going to occupy television as occupied our children. And now women have got programs on TV, the soaps they watch. You don't want to even watch them because they really are taken up. So in the conclusion, I want to thank you so much for those that are really listening to us. And I pray that the Lord will be able to touch you today. And I pray that the Lord will restore your marriage, will be able to restore your prayer out at home. May God bless you so much. See you again another time. Amen. God bless you.
And that has been the Inspired Family Leader Program with Samuel A. Bakutana, hosting John Sewanyana Graham. God bless you. God bless Uganda. God bless this whole world.